Good morning. This is Dr. Tirath Gill. This is the story of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was born in 1469 in Talwandi, a village in modern-day Punjab in Pakistan side. His father was Mehta Kalu, an accountant, and his mother was Mata Tripta. He had an older sister, Bebe Nanaki. He was loved, he was cherished as a child. Everybody knew he was special. When he went to elementary school, when his father took him there, and being an accountant's son, he had already picked up a lot of the elementary things and rather posed deep philosophical questions to the teacher. And the teacher was very impressed. He said that the child already knows most of the things I have to teach here in elementary, and referred him on to further training and teaching and to enrich his learning as much as possible. In that tradition, he also was acquainted with the Muslim faith and respected them, and learned about the deeper Sufi mystical elements of spirituality. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji was late teens, his father wanted him to develop a sense of a business sense, so to say, and be able to set up shop and have a means of supporting himself. So it's the father's concern to impart some practical wisdom to his son. He told him to go to the market, get some supplies, grocery supplies, that he could sell at some profit. Guruji went with his friend Mardana, and on the way, as was his habit, he came across a group of mystics, yogis and spiritual people, and discussed his ideas, their findings, and then realized that they had not been fed, and felt it upon himself to feed them. And so he spent his money and fed them. When he came home, the father was angry, and as they say, he struck him 1 or 2 times. And of course, his sister intervened and stopped it. And but that event marks how deeply loyal Guru Nanak Dev Ji was to his beliefs. These beliefs developed further when he went to Sultanpur Lodi, which was a town about 100 miles southeast of Talwandi, his village. His sister, Bebe Nanaki, was married to Jairam, who was an accountant also in that town, Sultanpur Lodi. And Mehta Kalu, the father, sought employment for his son there. The Rai Balar, the Muslim noble, who was witness to Guruji's unique qualities and was favorably impressed with Guruji, recommended him for employment as well at the granary and stores of Nawab Daulat Khan in Sultanpur Lodi. Guruji got the job and started working over there. He did well. He was kind, compassionate, honest. He was known for his generous nature. He is also known for his spiritual inclinations. Guruji continued to, develop his spiritual side. And when he was measuring, for example, the grain to be given, he would come across a number like 10 pan, 11, 12, and would reach 13. He would put 13, and in Hindi or Punjabi is 13, Tera is also like Tera, which is yours, implying God. And then he would repeat. He knew that certain number of pans had to be meted. Instead of repeating the numbers, he would just say Tera, 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 Tera 4 or 5 times, and then he would know that's done. So he in his mind he was keeping the count straight. But some people thought that maybe they found his method of counting strange, and someone complained to the Nawab. The Nawab took umbrage at first, and then had the accounts checked, and everything was found to be in order. And he developed even greater respect for Guruji's honesty and his unique qualities. So Guruji dwelled in Sultanpur Lodi. Sultanpur Lodi was very much a learning town in those days. In fact, Emperor Jahangir was educated in some of the religious madrasas there, and Shah Jahan's sons, Prince Dara Shikoh, the elder prince, and then and Aurangzeb also went for schooling over there in Sultanpur Lodi. So it was a major center of learning. The best professors were there. Of the learning also for Hindu thought, mysticism, the sciences, literature, all of that was there. There were deep philosophical discussions amongst the intellectuals. Guru Nanak Dev Ji participated in that and continued to develop his spirituality. He was in the habit of taking a bath in the river Kali Ban, which was in the north of the city. And one morning when he took a bath, he did not appear. He kind of disappeared for 3 days. And when he came back, his people were, they had been grief-stricken, like something had happened to Guru Nanak, but they were joyed to see him back. And when he came back, they asked him what happened, where were you? And then he said to have recited his revelation that he received. That was the time when he had the enlightenment experience. And his enlightenment, he telegraphically conveyed it to the people. And this we can go over what he uttered. It's called the Mool Mantra, the essential, the basic mantra. So the Mool Mantra goes like this: Ek Onkar, like there's one God. By Ek is also the number 1, but in here, Guruji is referring to Ek, the source. Onkar is the source. But there's one source. And Satnam, it's true, this nature is true. And Nam is Naman, like it has to be revered and remembered. Naman is a Sanskrit word meaning remembering with reverence. So it Satnam, the truth. In truth, we venerate that. In truth is to be remembered. In reverence, it's to be remembered. Sat, the true name. He described God as the true name, the objective, scientific reality of existence. So, Ekankar, Satnam is the true. There's one source, it's the true name. That's what God is, the true name, the objective truth. Karta Purk is the doer of all. Nirpo is without fear. Nirvar is without enmity. Akal Murut is without birth or death, is eternal. Saibang, that it is self-effulgent, that it is its own source of light and creativity, is the stream of creativity, that is the source of all things. Gur Prasad, like that, it is, Guru is like the dispeller of darkness, dispeller of ignorance. Prasad is the gift. So the gift is that it is the knowing the name, knowing God dispels all darkness, all falsehood, and this should be the basis for all human actions. Knowing remembering the name. And he said, emphasize this, odd jap, like know this, recite this. Jap is to recite, like to emphasize. Jap, odd such, odd is past. This has been true in the past. Jagat such, it is true now. Ho be such, it will be true in the future. So that was his basic revelation. And then Guruji's message, like it hit home, and people appreciated his emphasis on the one source. That he also said that the distinctions between Hindus and Muslims are false, that we are all members, sons and daughters of the same one God, that there are no caste, there are no highs and lows, we're all equal before the eyes of God. Those ideas, egalitarian ideas, struck home, and he developed followers, like people that really did sympathize and resonated with what he said. So at that point, a decision came to be made that this message should be shared with others. And he talked about spreading the message with his closest friends. Bhai Mardana, who was a neighbor of his in Talwandi village, a Muslim by faith, agreed to this. He expressed his concern about his unmarried daughter, that she needed to be married, and that he had family obligations. So Guruji helped him with the marriage financially, and told him that God would take care of his family. And so Bhai Mardana agreed to accompany Guru Nanak Dev Ji on the travel that Guruji wanted to undertake to spread his message. So they started traveling. A little bit about Bhai Mardana. Bhai Mardana, as I mentioned, was a Muslim, and he belonged to the Mirasi clan. Mirasi are keepers of oral tradition of history. They were intelligent, insightful, and they would keep the history, oral rendition, and like of the ancestors of families, important families. And these families would ask them to at certain functions to come and recite their genealogies, and they would recite the ode to the ancestors, and highlighting and singing in praise the accomplishments of the ancestors. So they were part of those type of family celebrations, and that was their tradition. And they also, since they knew about the family genealogies, the prominent people of society, they would propose marriages and relationships also. So if a family agreed to the proposal, they would ask him or the Marasi elder to send out an invitation to those families for an alliance between the daughters and sons of different families. That was their role also. And when they were taking these messages, they would have to travel. So the Marasi were good travelers also. They knew the risks, the ins and outs of what was involved in travel. So Bhai Mardana belonged to that caste. They were also musicians. They would, recite music in important families, and they would be paid for their service that way. Bhai Mardana was a musician also. He played the rabab, which is a stringed instrument, and he played it very well. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, of course, enjoyed his rabab, and he combined it with his devotional singing. And Bhai Mardana also sang. Bhai Mardana could write as well. So once they undertook the Udasis, which are the religious travels that Guru Nanak Dev Ji undertook, they kept a book, like a pothi, in which Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote his own hymns, and he also, Bhai Mardana also made noted things as well. They traveled in all directions. They impressed all that they saw. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was an unimposing presence. He would listen patiently and would try to aggregate knowledge, and share his own ideas. People, and that was they created satsang, like the meeting of the truthful, and deliberated upon social aspects and religious aspects. And they went in all directions. And Guruji shared his message of love, equality in all four corners of the known world at that time. His travels are extensive. They say he traveled for almost 20,000 miles. Around age 50, he settled down in a village called Kartarpur. So he put into practice what he preached. And one of the things he preached was that you don't need to renounce the world. You don't need to go up in the Himalayas to achieve spiritual enlightenment or knowledge. You could be a religious person by taking care of your societal obligations, raising families, and providing service to the community. He did that, spread that message. In Kartarpur, he settled down, he farmed, he taught his students. His students were called Sikhs, and Sikhs come from the Sanskrit word Sishya, means student. So there was this tradition of being students of the Guru that emphasized objective truth and avoidance of ritual and blind faith and meaningless things that were not productive. Guruji's message was three-pronged, three main tenets. One was remember God, remember the name, Nam Japna, remember that God, we are all children of God, we're all equal before the eyes of God. And so Nam Japna. Kirt karna. Kirt is like make an effort, It's not just about your 9-to-5 job. Do that honestly, do everything honestly. And but Kirt also means being proactive about social issues. Take action to change things that need to be changed. Kirt karna, Naam Japna, Kirt karna. And Vand Shakna. Vand is like divide, Shakna is consume. So divide and consume. He said that we should share our blessings with others that are less fortunate and go from there. In Kartarpur, the students, the Sikhs came to him. He taught them. One of his students, Pai Lena, was very devoted, very sensitive, perceptive, and he recognized that he had the qualities of a guru, and he ordained him as Guru Angad. He says Angad is like my own part of me, so part of my own being. See, Guru Angad became the second guru. Guru Angad created the alphabet Gurumukhi, spread the message of Sikhism, continued the community langar, the community kitchen that Guru Nanak Dev Ji had started, and then thus Sikhism was born. It's important for us to remember Guru Nanak and recognize his message of brotherhood amongst all mankind at a time when there are deep divisions again. People are they're staring at each other eyeball to eyeball in hostile ways. It's time for us to honor his message of brotherhood and to create peace and harmony on earth again, to share our blessings, make life better for all people on earth, and to improve ourselves continuously. I hope you found that message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji encouraging. Take care. Much love. Namaskar. Sat Sri Akal. Goodbye.